Hello and welcome to MOVATI OnDemand. My name is Tracy Kelly, and today we are doing phase 2 of lower body mobility. So if you haven't done phase 1, please go and do it, because this is a progression to doing it. So it's going to help you get in your lunges better and your squats better, and it's going to help you just move better. If you've got tight hips, low back issues, so this is a whole lower body mobility. Now, I don't have a chair. So I grabbed one of the storage boxes, right? Because my mom said you got to work with what you got to work with, right? If you have a stability ball, you could do that. We're going to use it a little bit later. But just grab one of your chairs and have it, okay? You'll also need maybe a block and a bigger alpha ball, right? Or grab one of your smaller ones and just roll it up, maybe with a tea towel or something, just to make it a little bit bigger. So we're going to go with a little bit of myofascial release to start with. We're going to start in the lumbar spine, okay? Now, we're working to the side of it. We're never going to put the ball right on our spine, but we can work around the sides. This one's really good for people like me who have more lordosis, more of an arch in the low back. So get the ball into your right hand, move your legs over to the left, find the natural arch of your back, and then just put the ball there, okay? Think about trying to soften and relax. Not the easiest thing to do, okay? You should feel like it's not on your low ribs, but it's not on your hip either. It's right in between. So take a few moments just to make sure that it feels okay. I like to put my hands on my belly just so I can think about softening, releasing, and relaxing. Now these two moves I'm going to show you at the beginning, the lumbar release and the psoas release, they're good anytime you're feeling like you've got a bit of an achy back and need to help soften and relax it. Remember, I said it's also really good for people that have just a little bit of an extra arch, okay? Now, if this feels okay and you want a little bit more, feel free to lift up the right knee, and if it's really hard to even lift up the leg, that's telling you not to. You would cross the right ankle onto the left knee. You don't drop the knee out like a figure four. You're just using the weight of your own right thigh to add a little bit more pressure onto the ball, okay? Soften around your face, your jaw. If it helps to close your eyes, close your eyes. If it helps to put on some soft, soothing music, go for it. If it helps to play heavy metal, you go for that too. Whatever helps you relax. Let's take in 3 breaths together. So breath is really important in this. Big breath in. Open the mouth, let it go. Again, big breath in. Open the mouth, let it go. And last one. Big breath in. And let it go. Good. If that leg was crossed, uncross it. Drop the knees to the left a little bit. Now I'm telling you, as soon as you remove the ball and come onto your back, you're going to feel that side soften a bit. I know. Oh, I love those feelings. Ball in the left hand. Knees drop to the right. You're going to put the ball to the side, right side of the lumbar spine, never on the spine. Okay? Now, I love this alpha ball size. I've been to the Dollar Tree. They have a ball similar to this size, and it's softer, so it's like a children's play ball. Maybe that's what you want to go with. If you find this a little intense, then like I said, maybe you could even roll up a towel, put the towel on the side, and that would still give you some of the pressure, okay? There's a million ways that you can do this. Sometimes I've got nothing around me, and I just make a fist, right? And then I just use my knuckles as that pressure. How does it feel? Okay, so we've talked in the previous lower body mobility about pain scale 1 to 10. So this feels to me about a 3. If I wanted to, I could cross the ankle. If I'm at a 6, or like I said, I can't even lift up my leg, that's your body telling you you don't need to amp this up. If you want to go a little more, go a little bit more. You're going to notice that one side is more intense than the other. And if that's the case, then maybe you want to spend a little extra time on that side that's a little more intense, right? At the beginning, you're not going to want to, but that side that's more tender, that's probably the side that needs to release a little bit more. That's your tighter side. Let's finish with 3 breaths, guys. Big breath in. Let it go. Big breath in. Let it go. Let it release, guys. Last one. Big breath in. And let it go. If that leg was crossed, uncross it, drop the knees to the right, remove the ball, and release. Now, we're going to come on to our belly. What you'll want to make sure is that you put you put your ball right to the side of your belly button. You don't put it on the belly button, you just put it to the side. So let's come on to our belly. I'm going to do, I want you to do your right side first, and then we'll talk about it. I'm going to put it on my left side, though, so that you guys, if you're looking in the camera, can see what I'm doing. But I want you to put it on your right side, okay? So just roll a little bit onto the left, find your belly button, put it to the side, and then roll onto it. You can stack your fists to rest your forehead. You could stack your hands. Now, depending on when you ate, what you ate, what's going on, this might not feel too fantastic. Breathe into the ball. Exhale, soften around the ball. You might need to even start with a smaller ball, even a tennis ball, okay? Maybe, again, like I said, a little bit of a rolled hand towel, or fold it into little quarters and set it there. Anything that'll help find this release. 2 more breaths. Now we're about to move it from right beside the belly button down a little bit, okay? Last breath. Perfect. Roll off it a little bit and then roll it down just a smidge, okay? So I'm not quite to the inside of my hip bone yet, but I'm getting close, okay? Maybe you have a shorter torso and you've got it right to the inside of the hip bone. That's going to be it. That's going to be as far as you go. Now, for me, notice that when I let the ball go down a bit, it gets a little more intense, okay? That's going to depend on a lot of things, too. Have you had surgeries? Have you had abdominal surgeries? Have you had C-sections, right? It takes a little while to get used to this sensation. If you are in agony, in pain, don't do it. Just feel free to lay onto your belly and just breathe. Breathe with your belly pushing down into the mat or into the ball if you have it, and then exhale, soften. Big breath in. You only need about 3 to 5 breaths, really whatever you can tolerate. If you're sitting at a 6, maybe go up a little bit. If you feel that you can go a little bit lower, let's go a little bit lower. Now, it is just to the inside of the hip bone. You don't want to go any lower. So when you're laying here, if you start to feel a pulse, you are on your femoral artery. That's the main artery that leads down into the leg. Just bring the ball up a bit. You don't want to be on it, okay? It doesn't feel good. So just have it off. You'll know if you're on it because you'll feel a pulse. Bump, 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 right? That'll tell you. Can I get 3 breaths? Big breath in. Exhale, let it go. 2 more, big breath in. Exhale, let it go. And last one, big breath in. And let it go. Perfect. So you're going to roll off of the ball, remove the ball, and you'll notice even right away, You're going to feel like you've got more space on that right side. We're going to take the ball now to the left side of the belly button. So just roll a little bit onto the right. Find your belly button. It doesn't go on the belly button, but it goes just beside the belly button. Now, why did we start on the right side? Because of the way the digestive tract works. So you've got your small intestine on the right, and you've got your larger intestine as it goes down onto the left. So we usually work from right to left. Will you do any damage if you switch? No. Okay, it's just the way that we do it. But I've been known to forget, and I go on my back, right side of my back, left side of the back, left side of the belly, right side of the belly. Okay, you'll notice that again, depending on what you've eaten or where you've eaten or when you've eaten, I should say, you might feel a little bit more pressure because, again, your digestive system's there as well as behind it your psoas. So you might feel some extra pressure. Take this easy, okay? Like I said, if it doesn't feel good to have the ball there, don't have it. We would just call this, if we were on our belly just breathing, crocodile breathing, right? And then we're going to add that diaphragmatic breath down. Can I see those 3 breaths, guys? Inhale, push the belly down into the ball. Exhale, soften. 2 more. Good, 1 more. Excellent. So if it doesn't feel too bad, if you're sitting at a 7 or 8, maybe remove the ball. If you feel that you'd like to go a little bit lower, move the ball down a little bit and then come back onto the belly. Soften for a minute. Use your breath. Try to relax your glutes. Soften in your face. Relax your jaw. Give me those breaths, guys. Big breath in. Let it go. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Perfect. So I'm feeling good. I'm going to bring it down just to the inside of my hip bone. Just to the inside. No lower. Remember what we talked about on the other side, the femoral artery. We don't want to be putting pressure on it. So just roll the ball up a little bit. We don't want to be exactly on that hip bone either. It's just to the inside of it because that might not feel too comfortable either. 3 breaths, guys. Good. Last 2. Last 1. Excellent. So we'll roll off and release. So those 2 moves, and we took our time. You can even do it a little bit quicker. Those 2 moves are really going to help soften into your low back and your spine, right? I can actually back bend even more than I normally would just from doing that, okay? We're moving into 2 other spots that can really restrict mobility in the lower body, and that's our quadriceps and our hamstrings. If we get a chance, we might hit the calves too, but let's take it on the left side. Now, I've put it just above my knee. I've got my left toe and my leg relaxed, and I've tucked under my right. I just like to do that, okay? It's just what I like to do. I like to keep my core engaged a little bit and my glute active. See how it feels, right? Some days, depending on what you were doing, long bike ride, run, this might be it, okay? 1 to 10 on the pain scale. Where are you sitting? If you're sitting at 6+, you are not moving, you are just breathing. If you feel like you're between a 1 and a 5, you can slowly start to bend it and flex the foot and then extend it. Now today, I'm not going to lie, this is tender. So I am not going to bend. I'm going to keep it here. If you are bending, give me another bend. And another extend. Whoo. And 1 more. Good. Now, if you didn't feel anything, that's okay, right? I've got more knee issues. Now, you can grab the ball and pull up, or you can take the hands into the shoulders and push yourself back a little bit. The ball will roll up for you. Again, relax. Now, we did the lumbar release and the psoas release before this move so that hopefully it feels better to have your back, your leg, in extension. If your leg lifted up behind you is causing back tension, I want you to grab a towel or a thin pillow and put it underneath your belly to hike up your hips so there's not so much of an arch in the back, okay? Now, as I go up, it actually feels better for me. Around my knee today is a little tender. That's my fault. I was jumping around like I was a 20-year-old the other day, and I'm paying the price, okay? So I feel like I could bend and extend it right now. So I'm going to go for it. But if I'm sitting at a 6 to 10, I'm not going to move. I'm just going to hold where I am, and I'm going to breathe, okay? In the other program, we did quads. And I talked about the sweet spot, which is halfway between the hip bone and the knee. I think I'm getting pretty close to it. That for most people, ooh, that's a tender spot, right? There's a lovely muscle that's there. If you wiggle from side to side, you're going to feel it. It feels like a really thick rope, right? This is a good muscle to hit. It attaches to the knee and the hip, okay? If, again, you're straightening it out, it's tender, stop, breathe. If you want to move, move, okay? I'm going to give you 3 to either breathe or to allow yourself to move, okay? So if you're bending, extending, please do so. I'm going to leave it straight right now. I'm just going to breathe. I'm going to soften, and I'm going to relax. Got 2 more. Whew. And last one. Good. So that's as high as you really need to go. Remove the ball. Oh. And then, if I didn't mention this in the previous, why do we hit our quads? It's to help our knees bend more, okay? So let's do a little test. Let's see what it feels like. So when I come back, I can feel it, right? I'm actually shifting now over to the side. I can't even get my bum yet down onto the left side, but I can on the right side. So that's why we do this. We get more mobility, more range of motion when we do this work, okay? So we've done the one side. Let's hit the other side. Roll a little bit over to the side. I like to go just above the knee. So let's hit that just above the right knee. Rest down. I just like to tuck the opposite toe. I just feel like I'm more stable and I don't roll off of it. That's another little cheat. You want to stay right with the hips square, pointed down. Feel free to close the eyes and just feel what's going on. Breathe. Where are you at? 1 to 10. Okay? This side, at this point, is not as tender. Probably about a 4 or 5 though. So I could stay if I wanted to, or I could move. I'm going to try to move. So I'm going to bend it and extend it. If you want to hold still. I'm going to go 2 more. When you do myofascial release, sometimes we have a tendency to hold tension in other spots. So we're clenching our teeth and we're tightening our jaw and we're pulling our shoulders up. That's not going to help you release. You got to relax everything. Everything. Okay? My core can be engaged a little bit if that helps my back, but try to especially relax your right leg right now, the right thigh. So you could move the ball up a little bit, or you could press yourself back to let the ball go up. I'm going to grab onto it and pull it up a little bit so that you can see how I do it that way. I readjusted my hips so that I wasn't leaning to one side, and then I'm back down. I'm relaxing the leg. I'm trying to imagine the ball melting around my leg. Breathe. Big breath in. Now, I'm not going to bend. It's feeling good. Okay? Again, maybe you need that pillow. Maybe you need that little bit of support. Okay? So please use it if you need it. If you're feeling a little twinge in the low part of the back, don't sit here and suffer, or lay down here on your belly and suffer. Get yourself a little pillow or something to stack the hips. Okay? If you're bending, keep bending. Woo-hoo. And let's find the sweet spot. So the sweet spot, again, if you felt hip bone, knee, it's about halfway. The other way to find it is if you wiggle from side to side, you feel like you're going over a rope. Okay? It feels, it's a special feeling, I'll tell you. It's hard to describe it. You can feel that something is there and it's getting massaged, okay? If you want to have the knee bent, you can. I'm going to keep straight. I find that I'm a little more tender higher up on this side, more tender lower on the other leg. That's perfectly normal. Breathe. Breathing. If you're bending, extending, breathe 2 more. Let it go. Let it go. I'm talking to myself right now. I don't know about you, but I am breathing. Whew. And release. So let's remove the ball, move it off to the side, and then slowly let's do that little check and see if the knees go back farther. Okay? Yeah, it's feeling better, right? It's feeling good. All right, let's come and we're going to hit the last part very quickly. Let's hit our calf because our ankle. And the other one we did the hamstring. Find a little tender spot. Mine is just up to the outside of the fibula. There's a little attachment point here. That's a little tender for me. I think I've mentioned before. I think it's like, those years of military running with the rucksack and the rifle. I got the army knees, I'll tell you. I'm moving my foot, and that's just going to increase the intensity. I could also add weight to the other side, or I could put the ball up higher. So now I've got more pressure because I'm winding up my fascia more, right? Try not to lean back, try to stay upright. We won't be here too long, and then we're going to move into some of the fun stuff, okay? Good, and let's switch. So if you want, I like it up here. I've been doing my calves for quite a while, so they're pretty good. They're pretty good. From doing today, I can tell I need to do my quads a little bit more, or maybe stop jumping around. That could do it too. Oh, okay. Try to relax the shoulders around from the ears. This side's a little more tender, but it's okay. I'm okay to point and flex. If you're sitting at, 6, 7, 8, you're just here, you're not moving, you're breathing. Big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Soften, relax, release. Soften, relax, release. Excellent. All right, guess what? We are done the myofascial. When I do mobility like this at home, I spend a lot of time. You do not need to spend this much time. I just find I really like to spend my time and get in there, okay? If you do this routine and you want to fast forward a little bit, so you're like, yeah, I got this, please do it, but maybe not as long, and then we can get into the stretching and the twisting part. I did bring a block with me just so I can show if it's hard for you to twist. For this one, we're moving into what's called child's pose clocks. So it's going to be important that you did your quads, or it's going to be hard to come into this position. You're going to reach your arms forward, let your head float. My knees are apart a little bit, my big toes are touching, okay? Where I'm reaching right now is 12 o'clock, okay? So now I'm going to move to 1 o'clock. Now you're going to feel a stretch on the left side of the ribs, maybe into the armpit, down into the side of the waist. All right, let's move to 2 o'clock. Whew. Now I know I joke about this, but I've never seen anybody hit 4 o'clock, okay? Don't try it. I don't know if it's the safest thing to do. I definitely have never seen anybody hit 6 o'clock. So maybe you're going to hit 2.5 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Go for it. Breathe. You're going to increase that stretch. Long neck, guys. Use your inhales and exhales. Slowly come back to 2 o'clock. You'll notice as you have it out of the clock, it feels easier than when it came in. Move to 1 o'clock. And 12 o'clock. Good. So now we're going the other way. 11 o'clock. Breathe. Ten o'clock. I'm going to have to move a little equipment here. Oi, 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 oi. Maybe 9.5 or 9 o'clock. Best you can. Breathe. Ten o'clock. $11 o'clock. And 12 o'clock. Excellent. All right. So those are your clock child's pose. Okay. Moving into the lunge and the twist. Some of you may need a block. Nothing wrong with it. Okay. We're starting to get into our lunge series. Okay. So I'm going to bring my hands to the right side. I'm going to step my left leg forward, and I'm thinking about coming into more of a dragon style, okay? So I'm not in this 1990 anymore. I'm trying to keep the glute engaged, but I'm allowing myself to come more forward. Now, foot can come a little bit out to the side, and here's where a block can get useful. So if you're going to try the block, it would go to the inside, so it's going onto my left hand. I'm going to twist to my right. So I'm going to give it a little tap. I could also go here. I'm going to open up and twist and bring it down. If you get a pinch in your shoulder, maybe just lead with the elbow, okay? Reach and twist. So we're looking for about 6 to 8 of these. Now, the fun part is that we get to twist the other way. So take the right hand down, you can take the arm out, and we twist and we drop. And we twist and we drop. Use your breath. Maybe you want to exhale, inhale. Going for 3 more. Good. 2 more. Excellent. Last one. Perfect. And switch. So stepping that back. Hands to the left. Put that right leg forward. Now, I've mentioned my right knee is actually my back one right now, but for you it's your left. If that knee is tender, you can tuck the toes under, maybe add a little bit more support underneath, okay? Don't be afraid to use a block. In fact, the higher you lift up, the easier it's going to be to twist. So don't feel you have to be down here and just struggling in the twist, because that's part of the exercise. So I've put my block up higher this time. My hips are thrusting forward, my core is engaged, my glute is squeezing on the left side, and I'm twisting left and down. Again, 6 to 8. Don't think about throwing the arm, but think about moving the torso. Make sure you're breathing. Try not to let the knee collapse out to the side. Try to keep the big toe pressing down. I think that was 6, but I'm going to do one more. And switch. So now I'm putting that hand down, right hand to the outside. I'm opening, and I'm dropping. So you're going to find one side is much easier to twist, and it really doesn't matter what leg is in front. One side's going to be easier, to twist than the other. I think the twisting's helping me. Last one, guys. Woo! And pressing back. Now you might need a little knee break for a moment, okay? If you find that it's tender on the knees, please, please, please give yourself a moment. Double up your mat. We are now moving into what's called the dragon lunge. So much fun. In this, you might need the blocks, you might not. Let's again take the hands to the right, left leg lunges forward. So hopefully now you can get a little deeper in that lunge. Your left foot is going to turn out 45 degrees, okay? Some of you will not get into the push-up. So let's just practice the rock. I lean to the left, I'm back to the center. I lean, I'm back to center. I keep my whole foot down, including the big toe, so I can really get into my adductors. I'm feeling that in my inner thigh. If you feel that you can drop the torso, we're going to practice the push-up so you can see. It doesn't really feel like a push-up. I'm dropping my torso down and I'm lifting my torso up. We're going to do 8 to 10 more alternating, okay? If you need to stay in the rock, stay in the rock, okay? Otherwise, join me. So one push-up, one lean to the left. One push-up, one lean to the left. Good. One push-up, one lean to the left. One push-up, lean to the left. So we've done 4. Let's try 4 more. It's 8 to 10. If you want to do a couple of more, feel free to do so. Good. 2 more, 2 more. Last one. And stepping that back. We're going to switch sides. So hands to the left, right legs forward. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. Foot's out a little bit to the side. Back toe can be tucked or not, completely up to you. Foot turns out 45 degrees. Practice the rock. So we're just swaying to the side and coming back in. And this might be it for you, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. We all start somewhere. But if you stay with this and you keep practicing this, you're only going to get better. Perfect. Let's practice a few push-ups. Now I notice on this side, I don't get as low. Feels a little bit harder. So that would tell me I'm a little bit tighter on this side. Now we're going to do 8 more. We're going to alternate. So let's take the push-up and the lean. Push-up and lean. Push-up. Try not to depend too much on your hands. Try to think of the torso dropping and lifting. All right, I lost count. I'm hoping that was 4. Oh, 5. 6. 7. And 8. Excellent. Press yourself back and take a moment. I'm going to have a quick little sip of water. You really need to take fluids, especially when you're doing mobility. For the fascia, it needs fluid so it can move nice and smooth. All right. Last one, part of the mobility part, okay? Then we have two more things left, and that's going to help activate your glutes. It's also going to teach you how to disassociate your leg movement from, and that core control from your low back. So you're not getting into your low back. You are learning how to open up the hips. Really, that's your legs moving, right? And not depending on the low back. So this one is called the shin box with the hip raise. I'm turning it to the side so you can see it. Now, not everybody's going to get up. I don't find this the softest mat, so I will do my best. Now, in phase 1, we were supported shin box, and we were dropping from side to side, okay? If you've got tender knees and you need to revisit this, please do it right now. Option 1 is I'm sitting up nice and tall. My bum is on the floor because I need my mat for my knees, okay? Hands are up, tall spine. You're going to lift up your feet to the right. Knees go left, little press, up switch, little press, okay? Try to stay as tall as you can. So if you're able to, this is where you might need to stay, okay? Now tuck the legs in a little bit more. Notice that my back foot is flexed. My front foot is slightly pointed. This might not happen today, but if and when you come over, you press, you thrust, you're down, and you switch. So I'm pushing into the knees, and I'm lifting. Oh. Now this would be a great party trick, right? Maybe start to get your kids doing this. You'll be able to get up without any hands, right? And you're saying, how do you do that, right? We're not doing it in this phase, but I'll show you. So if you came up and extended this leg, you're out of here, right? You can hold the china. We're just staying here. We're doing about, how many do we feel like doing? 10 to 12 per side. If you're starting to feel an ache, just revisit this, okay? There's no worry. If it's hard to get up, I don't know if you can hear me, it's a little bit of a workout too, right? Let's do 2 more each side. Trying to stay as upright as possible. Last one. And done. So we have completed 2 parts of the mobility. Phase 1 is the myofascial. Phase 2 are these corrective exercises, stretching, that's going to help lift the thoracic spine so it's not curved, and so you can still get a little bit more movement into the hips. Now we're going to go into the activation. So this is where you're going to need that chair or your box, right? If the box was lower, it would be a little bit easier. So there's nothing wrong with that, okay? When you come into this, you might want to have some wall support, but you don't have to, okay? When you come into this, think of a Bulgarian split lunge. You could also think of this like a standing couch stretch. So I'm going to take my left foot up. My right foot is out a little bit. I'm going to turn away from my support. You can have the toe pointed. That would be the best. But if you need it tucked, tuck it. You are dropping straight down. So not forward, but straight down. And it may be this small. Nothing wrong with that. You're going to push into the top of your left foot so you get a quad stretch. We are holding for 15, 14, 13, dig in, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. You've got this. 4. Stretchy, stretchy. 3. Squeezy, squeezy. 2 and 1. Whew. Release. Let's go to the other side. So I apologize. I'm going to turn away from you for a moment, but I'm going to use the wall for support here. I turn. What if this is in too much? I can hop it out. Try to get into the top of the shoelace, and then you're going straight down. Now this side is much tougher for me. I'm squeezing my glute. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Push the top of the right foot down. Squeeze your right glute. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. If you loved that, hit pause, rewind, do it again. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. I'm happy with what I've done. 1 to 2 sets. 20 seconds is how long you had it. The last thing is called a torso supported glute press. It is important that the torso is supported. So this is the last exercise. So you're bringing yourself down. A chair height works great. A stability ball works great as well. You want your torso, your belly, and your hips to be resting. A lot of times in a kneeling leg lift or hip extension, what I see, and I'll just kneel, is I see a lot of this. I'm not using my glute. I'm jamming into my low back. I don't want to do this. I don't want to hurt my back. This is the exercise I talked about disassociating leg movement from back movement. So bring yourself into this torso supported position. Pull your belly into your spine. Tuck the toes under. And then you are going to move. We're going to do left leg. So activate your left glute. Lift and lower. Okay? Now, I'm going to just hug here just because it's a little more comfortable for me. Make sure the torso is supported and the hips are not moving. Everything is stationary. You're trying to get your heel as close to your bum as possible. And we are just lifting and lowering. Let's go for 4 more. Here's 4 and 3. Ooh. And 2. It's harder than it looks. You're going to feel your hamstring working. And 1. Right to the other side. So make sure you're resting. Make sure the torso is supported. Toes are tucked under. Lift up that leg, heel to bum. Lift and lower. Now I'm telling you, when you do this, you're going to feel one side is much better than the other. And I'm not there. I can't see you and how you're moving. But can you feel? So I can feel that my left leg works better than my right leg. So I might want to do 2 sets of this on my right leg. Let's go for 4 more. And 3. Heel to bum, heel to bum, heel to bum, heel to bum. Last 1. And help yourself up. Guys, that is my cue that we are done. Little shake. Everything feels good. I let the music come on so that you know, oh, you are finished. So give yourself a couple little squats. How's that feel? Feels great, right? Use this. Go for a walk. Go for a bike ride. Go enjoy the mobility that you have just created in your lower body. Thank you so much. and have a wonderful day. See you later.